before vegan, before plant-based, there was ITAL. And on Saturday, July 15th, it's the ITAL Food Fest. ITAL is vital. On the main stage, it's Iway.
Iway live on the main stage. ITAL Food Fest. ITAL is vital.
Agent Sasko.
Agent Sasko let you know that the place to be on Saturday, July 15th is the ITAL Food Festival.
Hello to everyone. My name is Paula Herlock and welcome to another episode of Dimensional Dialogues. I am very, very fortunate today to have as my special guest Dr. Aris Latham. And you know, this gentleman here I call him legendary. He's like a living legend in the area of health and wellness and of food. And when I say food, I mean good food. I mean raw food. I mean high vitality, high frequency food. And I'm going to just tell you what I think. I think the food that he's been preparing for all these years is beginning to reflect in him, his persona. I have never, ever seen Dr. Aris Latham, and he was vibrant, full of energy, full of color, full of just so much, everything. And so, Dr. Aris, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here, to share with you, to smile together and spread the love. Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Aris, you are in Panama. That's correct?
Yes, I'm in Panama. I am on what we call the land of life. We have a 700-acre permaculture fruit farm here.
Wow.
And we're literally on an island inland. The property is surrounded by 3 rivers. And we have no roads here.
Wow. It sounds like heaven.
Oh, yes.
Sounds like the Garden of Eden to me.
Well, it's the Garden of Eden today. Actually, drinking. We drink here more than we eat. So, we come across the river, and once we're here, we have about 38,000 coconut trees.
Wow.
7 springs, so we have the purest water ever.
Wow.
And of course, that feeds into swimming pools and bathrooms and everywhere.
Wow.
And we have varieties of exotic fruit trees.
Wow.
And Institute, the home of SUNFIRED Culinary Institute and Retreat Center.
Wow. All I can say is wow, wow, wow. But what I want to know, Dr. Aris, what is it that triggered this vision? Because I so admire people who have not just talked the talk, but have walked the walk and have actually created this vision. Tell me about how this vision came about. How many years ago?
Well, I tell you, it actually started, I would say, at birth.
Birth.
A good 75 years now. Yes. So I'm looking forward to 76 on July 24th. So I'm right there. I'm in the neighborhood. I'm between Garvey and Selassie. So I got to keep the vibe. I got to keep the spirit. So if they did it, I can do it. So they've paved the way, and I'm paving further ways. For further generations.
Yes.
So yeah, I was born in the lake. In the Gatun Lake.
How amazing it is that you came up with the SUNFIRED Foods and this whole legacy that you have brought to this world. Where did this all come about? When did this vision start, and what inspired this vision?
Wow. Okay, as I say, I really feel it started from the time of birth. Being born in what is now today known as the Panama Canal.
Yes.
I was actually born in a lake. It's a man-made lake. I think my mother was was coming across the lake, coming home from her daily chores, going over the other side of the mountain to do
Yes.
what she was about to do.
Yes.
And coming home, there I was. I showed up right on the boat, right in the middle of the lake. And
Wow.
understand my umbilical cord is still buried in the lake.
Wow.
So my grandparents, who came from Jamaica, from Lenox Bigwood, up
Wow.
there in Darlaston, yes, they
Nice. That's
came. On my father's side, you know, they came on a level where my grandfather
mhm.
had pretty much come looking for work himself on the
Yes.
canal.
Yes.
And for some reason, they didn't seem to want to hire too many Jamaicans. So the major workforce, I think it was 15,000 people working on the canal, and
Mhm.
the major workforce, about 12,000, were from Barbados.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought we
so
had more. I thought we had more Jamaicans there than.
oh no, you had more Jamaicans migrating to Panama. I think there were probably of something like 40 or 50,000 people that migrated to Panama.
Yes.
About two-thirds of them were Jamaicans,
Interesting.
but only about 1,000 Jamaicans or less got work on the canal, building the canal zone. So I'd say the overwhelming majority of workers were from Barbados. But people
Okay.
came from every corner of the Caribbean. Every single
Mhm.
island was there. All these countries in Latin America, that was the migrant work site. In
Yes.
1904, when
Hmm.
we came to build the canal. So I think my grandfather from Jamaica, he moved on and moved up and went up to New Orleans on a ship and started another branch of our family tree there. But
Yes.
my grandmother, who I think she was from Bluefields,
Okay.
she never lived in Panama permanently. She
Okay.
had her babies there, two sons they had.
Yes.
But she come back and forth. She leave them with her family here in Panama.
Yes.
And she used to come back and forth. She was a higgler.
What
So
was
she
your
would go
name?
shop. Yeah, she would go
What was?
shop in the free zone and take things back to Jamaica to sell. So she come back
Wow.
like every 2 months or so when she sell it, run out of stock, come, do her shopping and deal with the family and so forth, and went back and forth.
Yes.
So so then my grandmother, her mother, she was from India. One of them coolie them up there from them area there, Grange Hill, or them places up in them side.
Yes.
So that I got to, briefly know that side of my family as well.
Right. Right.
And on my mother's side, my grandfather and grandmother, they were born in Barbados. So my
Okay.
parents were born here in Panama.
Hmm.
And all I knew growing up is that we're in the bush, like how I am right now.
Yes. You know nothing else.
Yeah, we're in the bush, and we're working on the U.S. Panama Canal Zone. So we're in a U.S. controlled territory,
Uh-huh.
and we come from the islands. And of course, at home we speak in the way we talk in Jamaica every day. And and they never provided education for my parents, so they didn't go to school in Panama. But
Hmm.
by the time my generation, they figured it out. So we had to go to school in the Republic of Panama.
Right.
We had to leave the U.S. Canal Zone and go to the Republic of. So I stayed with some great grandparents there while I
Mm-hmm.
went to school from grade 1.
Yes.
And of course, them teach me in Spanish. So the first time I book up a Spanish is in first grade. And you have
Wow.
to learn. You have to
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
So that's how,
Yes.
we are as youths, we learn language them quick.
Of
So we learn
course.
to survive, But
Yes.
I'm in
Yes.
Colon, the Caribbean city of Panama. Colon is where all everyone settled in Colon. During
I
that time,
see.
Colon was really the capital of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Here
No,
you
I
have
didn't
the
know that.
city on the Caribbean Ocean with migrants from St. Lucia, Dominique, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, from everywhere.
Wow.
Guadeloupe, you name it, the whole Caribbean. So I said it was the capital of the Caribbean. So
Yes.
growing up with grandma on the canal zone in this area, U.S. territory, 20 military bases, and I'm talking 1947. So
Wow.
I grew up in an era where, you see all these soldiers, all these GIs all over the place. And I think it was after the Korean War. You see, like ships come in, there's soldiers like ants everywhere coming in after the war. And the part of Panama facing the U.S. Canal Zone, it was like Front Street. It was like Bar Street. It was just a whole Front Street full of bars and, rooming houses. So it was like Panama was the prostitution capital of the world.
I can
So,
imagine. Wow.
oh, and it still is today. It's still legal, but instead of the soldiers, now it's the businessmen. Them coming and the service is
This
there.
is fascinating story, Aris. I mean, I'm just amazed at the richness of your beginnings and how that could have translated to you being renowned for this. Like you left there with all that resilience and just went out into the world. Tell me about that.
Well, see, the whole thing is growing up there on the Canal Zone in those eras with grandma. My grandmother and grandfather from Barbados, they had 9 children. And each one of these 9 children, they had probably 9 more each one. Yes. And we all living in housing, quarters at the time we call them. But when I went to New York, I found out there were projects.
Yes.
So what happened, every spouse, every child brought their spouse home, whether it's man or woman. And it's so interesting, most of them, my uncles and aunts, they all married Jamaicans. They're all these Barbadian descendants, and they all married Jamaicans. So the Jamaican, whether man or woman, them knew them way out to find their way. So most Jamaicans in Panama at that time, as I said, they weren't working on the canal, but they find their way.
Yes.
Either marry someone who lived there. Yes. Some of them do contraband, bring out stuff and sell on the other side. Yes. But them figure it out. But the Bajans, them get the work because, them come from a place where, they live in Christchurch in Barbados. So they were easier for them to get along with, in terms of the white workers from the U.S. And I know they had an experience here before because the Panama Railroad was built in the 1850s to facilitate the movement of the gold rush from California to Wall Street, to cross the isthmus, to get from Pacific to Atlantic, and the British built it. And the British brought all these workers from where? From Jamaica to build the Panama Railroad in the 1850s. Yes. So and of course, when the railroad was built and they had to move on, they bought land in Panama and they created the United Fruit Company, the banana plantations. They said Panama was one of the best places to grow bananas, pineapples, and papayas in the world. So they set up the plantations. And so that's why Garvey had to come here later on to get things straight with these Jamaican workers who, after they finished building the railroad, they stayed on with the British to run these plantations and produce for them. But there's a big history. There was one part of the history that goes, some Jamaicans wake up one day and they tell the British, "Me, I don't go home. I don't go home and I don't work for you. I'll leave here." And the British tell them, "Look, meet us at such and such a port on such and such a date, such and such a time, and we'll send you back to Jamaica."
Yes.
But let me tell you, everybody check in Jamaica. No, they've never reached back. Everybody check in Panama. Can't find them. The British slaughtered them.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there's a place in Panama. So when it come out in the news, and the British had to take ownership that they slaughtered you Jamaicans, they bought land from Panama and created a town called New Providence.
Yes.
To give the descendants of these people that they slaughtered a new start on life, a new lease of life. And they all settled in New Providence on the lake of the Panama Canal, right there in the Gatun Lake, and started a whole nother. But right now, New Providence, that's when they go and get me ackee. The place full of ackee trees.
The yardis are there. Well, that's
full of ackee everywhere. Jamaicans plant up them ackee, them breadfruit, all them something them, still right here. So it's amazing. So growing up with grandma and grandpa in the Canal Zone and grandmother cooking for 30, 40, 50 people every day because the house full, we pack up the house. So everybody bring their wife or them husband home and pick up all them babies and everything, and grandmother cook for everybody. So
Yes.
I'm like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And I say, Grandma, so that boy, me want to go in the kitchen all the time when I see my grandma in the kitchen. So any
Wow.
excuse, let me wash the dishes. Let me grate the coconut. Anything to be in the kitchen next to grandma. And then
Yes.
grandpa, him have him chicken coop. So me out there with the chicken coop, with him chasing down the chicken, put a bucket on it, and him grab it and wring the neck and chop it off. And so this is how I grew up at home, you know, learning like this and living the life. But everything we had was fresh food every day because,
Yes.
no ice box, no
Yes.
refrigerator, and the ice
Yes.
melt next day. So anything with the chicken, the fish, everything was fresh catch that
Every day.
morning, whether it's in the lake or the sea. And we have to yam it that day because it's spoiled tomorrow. The
Wow.
fruit, the vegetables, just like that. So I grew up in a fresh kitchen, and that's why I'm still handling fresh today. So
That's
then move forward. My mother moved to New York.
yes.
Go find work over there, chambermaid in one big hotel, and she sent for my father, sent for all of us. So me then know in 1964, and by that time, I'm landing in Brooklyn, in the inner city, straight from the bush to the ghetto.
Yes.
Yeah, man. They put me in a school and all that thing. But I drop out of school in Panama.
Yes.
I drop out because I was bored with them something there.
Yes.
And I used to go to the bush and get mango. Mango season, like right now, we got big sack of mango and come back to the city and
Yes.
sell the mango right in front of the school. Crab
Right.
season, we get our local cold pot and we come
Yes.
and sell boiled crab in front of the school. Orange, anything. So instead of going into school and sitting and wasting my time, I started my business right there.
There
Go
you
back,
go.
bring things, and come back and sell in front of the school. So I'm out of school 3 years. So it's time I land in Brooklyn now and they put me in high school. It was a different world.
Yes.
Inner city. And we're talking now, we start yamming now the sad diet, the standard American diet. And we get introduced to sloppy Joe and hot dog and hamburgers and all them something there. And then I'm in the inner city with the African Americans and we yam soul food, shit links and all them something there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
collard green. So growing up with all of this culture mix now from Panama, the Latin cuisine and the Indian cuisine in Panama, and the Chinese and the Japanese and everybody else, and then landing in Brooklyn and the soul food and the American food. Boy, me yam my head off.
Yes.
Yam up everything and
Yes.
ended up with a heart murmur. So I
Wow.
had to leave my athletics. I was on the swimming team, the track team, and the gymnastics because I was light like a feather. And we jump off the springboard because we used to jump off of big cliffs.
Yes.
Yeah, like West End in the grill. We used to jump off of them thing and dive into the sea, dive into the lake.
But the
You
boys
know,
were no match for you, country
no
boy.
climbing my coconut trees from them days. I'm still a climb coconut trees up to today at 75.
Yes.
You know, so
That not leaving you.
yeah. So what happened now after me come out of high school and me go college and me go out there in the suburbs of New York and me buck up in at the hippies. The hippies back on the college and then back to the land. Organic food.
Yes.
The Vietnam War movement. Hell no, we won't go. The
Yes.
Black Power movement. No, this food we find in the hood it's a weapon.
Yes.
So me and my posse now, in the age of the revolution, in the heart of the 60s,
Yes.
Our revolution is food.
Yes.
We not have no weapons. And we not go Vietnam and fight no rice war and none of them something there. Our war is right here. We don't have no food no more, no cafeteria, no school, no university, none of them place. We are got ITAL. Strictly natural. Right now. So back to the land, organic. So we're talking 53 years now. We don't have animals.
Wow.
No animal pus, no abortions, and no vomit from no bees. It's sweet, but it's still a vomit.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but not today, them I call it vegan and all them things. Don't curse me, me not no vegan.
You're idol,
I'm
not
a
vegan.
italist. I'm a italist. Yeah, me
Beautiful.
come straight from the bush in Jamaica. My roots come
Yes.
straight from there, and we're still italists up to today. But we
Yes.
want it fresh. You know how fresh when ITAL man they make food in Jamaica and the people that say, oh, the food fresh.
Yes.
No salt. Yeah. No salt. We want it fresh. We want a taste of the fresh herb, the spice, and then something there. So growing up with this and moving on into this now and being in that environment and deep down in the Black Power movement with the African American community and then the Puerto Rican community, because I mean, I speak the Spanish just like them,
Yes.
you know, and the
Yes.
Black Panthers and the Young Lord Party, and you know, we're just moving with a certain spirit of revolutionaries, you know, seeing what's going on in Cuba, seeing what's going on in Africa, the Algerian revolutions and all of these things, seeing what's going on in Jamaica with Michael Manley and the movement forward, you know, and we team up and we gather up, working with African cause all over the world, looking at Kwame Nkrumah, Haile Selassie, and all the big giant, the Mau Mau people, them. Yeah, Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya, all them are fight for them liberations.
Yes.
And this is what we were doing on the front line, in the belly of the beast. So we're talking taking up arms, sitting down in the president's office on the university, and so we want this now.
Wow. But so you know, Dr. Aris, I'm so glad I asked you the question so that you could come from all of that. Because I had no idea. All I was thinking that you were just happily cooking food and creating SUNFIRED Foods. I did not know that you were on the front line with all of the revolutionaries over the last, 40, 50, 5 decades?
50 years.
Yes.
50 years. This is a revolution.
Yes.
Look, I remember 1972 when I went to Ghana for the first time. I'm part of an African dance troupe from the university, and we go to Africa to dance with the National Dance Theatre of Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, Togo, and we go to Nkrumah's funeral. And then the next year, when we come back, then I go to Guyana as a volunteer working on the world project, building a road from Guyana into Brazil. And then they invite us to come meet Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro on his way to the 6th Pan-African Congress in Algiers, and pick up Michael Manley in Jamaica, and then come to Guyana to pick up Forbes Burnham to take them to Africa. So they invited us to the reception because we young revolutionaries working in the bush.
Yes.
Up the Essequibo River with the piranhas and all the snakes and the mosquito then. And we chop the bush, making the road from Guyana into Brazil. And we get to meet Fidel Castro and Michael Manley and Forbes Burnham in Guyana, being on the front line of the revolution and rubbing shoulders with those kind of heroes. But we were on the food stage, the food lab.
Yes.
So we're talking now, by 1970, I'd already stopped eating animals, just eating plant food. I mean, I am no plant-based food. We just eat plant food, period.
Yeah, argument done.
Look,
no long talking.
We came from a period where our Bible in the neighborhood, because a lot of what I learned was in the ghetto, in the neighborhood in Bed-Stuy. We had a co-op, food co-op. We had independent black school. And we had to read a book by the name of From Plan to Planet. Hakeem Adabuti set up his own publishing company in Chicago, Black Brooks Press. And from Plan to Planet, the man said, black people, and if you all go anywhere, there's 5 things you have to do. And the number 1 thing you have to mind is your gut, your diet.
Yes.
You have to stop yamming white food, the mutants, just like the people who created them. White sugar, white flour, white starch, white rice, all them something there. Yes. So this is revolution in action.
Yes.
And getting rid of the standard American diet, getting rid of that stuff as revolutionaries and running hard in the neighborhood, you know, making juice, making salads, making this stuff, and sharing with the people in the co-op. And then going to big festivals and going vending and doing all of these kinds of things. So eventually, I retired at the age of 29 from being an administrator in the public schools.
Yes.
I was an administrator in California, San Francisco.
How did you cram all of that into your lifetime before 29? I can't believe all of that.
You don't cram nothing. We not nothing.
it just
We just,
it just
but see
flow.
what happened. I get my BA in Brooklyn, in New York,
Hmm.
in education and Spanish, because me have to stay in school. Otherwise, they're going to take me to Vietnam. They draft me.
Yes,
So me
yes.
just stay in school, and they have to study something that I already know, Spanish. So me know we're going to pass. So me not just have to worry about no school thing. We just show up and say, buenos dias, bam, 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 and me
Yes,
get my
yes.
degree,
Nice,
So I
nice.
had to study education so I can know I can get some kind of job after that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I beat the draft, never go to the war, but then no, come the time no, after that no, and eating all plant food and all of this stuff no, and then traveling to Africa and seeing that what I saw there. Look, that summer when we went to Ghana and we
Hmm.
eating in the commons with the students there in Legon University,
Hmm.
and we said, "Oh, okay, then put a piece of chicken or a piece of fish or something like that on everybody plate."
Yes,
But the buffet, them lay out the groundnut stew and the callaloo and everything else laid out. You could have 3, 4 servings, but they're
yes,
not give you no more piece of that meat.
yes,
No more piece. So Mr. Ratin, it's nice being a vegetarian here. In Africa don't have so much meat.
yes, yes,
So coming out of that and then going to Guyana and going through all of that and then starting to travel and
yes.
seeing, Trinidad and Barbados and Jamaica. I remember my first trip to Jamaica was for the One Love concert.
In
The One Love,
1976,
yeah, at the
76
big
or
stadium
77.
here in Kingston. Bob
Yes,
Marley, Peter Tosh, Jacob Miller, all of them. I would lick it hard. So me
yes,
come through, Serati, this is my home too, Jamaica. So
yes.
that was my first time, but I've lived in Jamaica for over 20 years. Then
Right.
Kingston, Mobay, Irish Tongue, Portland, Highgate, all over. This all me live. Everywhere me go, me live every place.
I met you in Montego Bay in the 1990s
Mm.
when you were at a pop up in Irwin and you had your sun-fired food. So that's the first time I ever heard of sun-fired foods. Tell
Yeah.
me about sun-fired foods because that felt like it was a technology when I
Well,
came across it.
well, let me tell you, the ones them in the Oxford Encyclopedia, Food and Drink in America,
Mhm.
the 2000, what was it? The 2004 edition
Yes.
and the 2012 edition. They acclaimed me as the father of ethical gourmet raw food cuisine in the world
And
because
that's right.
I invented, I
You
invented
did.
a whole cuisine.
Yes. A
This
whole
is
new
not something.
so you mean like just like how the man them invent steel pan, you invented a whole cuisine.
A whole cuisine from soups to nuts.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
yes.
This is why
From
I say
from
I am speaking to a living legend.
well, me I live, but me don't know if me in the legend thing right
Legendary
now.
category, yes, yes. Let me update you on that reality. Yes. So tell me about sun-fired foods
When
and what was
Sun-Fired
behind it.
Foods
Hmm.
in 1976, I stopped yamming cook food.
Hmm.
So we're talking now 47 years of eating all plant food that are not cooked as we know by cooking.
Right.
Live food, living food. Some people call the thing raw food, but I say, no, 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 no raw about this food. This is not raw. That's an insult to call this perfect creation raw. Because when you hear something raw, you think you have to. I mean, in New York, see, I'm growing up in New York. So when there's a raw food in New York, there's a raw bar,
Yes.
clam
Yes.
bar. That's
Yes.
what they call raw food in New York back then. You're
Wow.
going to eat raw clams. So I say, no, it's not no raw food. There's no clam on them something there. Some other people call it living food. But
Yes.
then when I see living food, I see them have lobster, you know, coming out of the aquarium, bouncing on your place. No, no, no living food. No, 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 something like that. And the other word was unfired foods. Unfired foods in the raw food circus at the time.
Yes.
And no, there's nothing on about this. I cannot describe this cuisine with a negative word.
Yes.
So all I did, my dear, I just added the S. to unfired and coined the word sunfired. And the whole point of Sunfired Foods is that our food is cooked by the sun. I am not a chef. I cannot compete with the sun. The sun cooks our food. Right now, the sun is right here cooking my food on this farm. The sun comes for 12 hours every day to my farm, to your neighborhood, to your uptown, to your village, to your ghetto, to your hamlet, and cooks for everybody on the planet.
Yes.
So when my red bananas are ripe and ready, it's perfectly cooked by the sun.
Fantastic.
So me not take my bananas green and boil them and try to force right them and tell the sun, God, you made a mistake, or you know, cook the food fast enough. I'm gonna boil it and try to force ripe it. No matter how long you boil that green banana, you're not ripening it up.
Yes.
It's still a starch.
Yes.
It's still a complex carbohydrate. It's still a complicated food, and you make it more complicated because you kill it, you boil it, you take the life out of it. It's not going to ripen up anymore. So you're criminal, you reap as you sow, and you eat them hard, you know, provisions. Whether it's green banana, yam, cassava, trying to make bami and all them something them with them. Watch your step.
Yes.
Watch your step. Breadfruit, make the breadfruit ripen up on the tree.
Yes.
Jamaica, you know, Jamaica don't like no mushy food. Them don't want no ripe breadfruit. It's a custard. It's soft and mushy. Them want hard food.
Yes.
They want food that's hard to digest. Coming up on them plantation and you're not getting enough food, you want bread.
Yes.
So you want to boil the breadfruit and eat it like you want to boil the fruit and eat it like it's bread.
Bread. Yes. Got it.
It's not like bread.
Got it.
It's fruit. And you must make the breadfruit ripen up. The same way you make the jackfruit ripen up and you want that jackfruit ripe and sweet, you need to make the breadfruit ripen up. But then some of you know you're taking the green jackfruit and following them misguided people and boiling it and making it pulled jackfruit and all of them something there. I mean, all that's fine. That's a good step. You're coming in the right direction.
Yes.
But you have to come home. You have to eat foods that are cooked by the sun, because the objective is to not eat the sun out of this food.
Yes.
But our number one nutrient on the planet, the number one food on the planet is the sun. We eat the sun.
That is powerful.
When I grab this mango, I'm grabbing a sun drop. This is a sun drop. And I'm gonna I'm gonna eat the sunshine out of this mango.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes.
I'm not. There are three master food groups. Master food in one group.
Tell me.
Sunshine, oxygen. I want the oxygen out of this mango.
Yes. Yes.
And I want the living water.
Right.
The mango water. The mango nectar. Those are the three master foods. Sunshine, that's our big meal. Without sunshine, there's no life. Oxygen, we are oxygen tank.
Yes.
Our first breath is our first meal.
Yes.
And your last breath in life is your last supper. You cannot live without oxygen.
Yes.
And number three, I want living water. I want fresh water. I want water that's been filtered by the plants. So this is mango water.
Yes.
Look, that's mango water.
Wow.
That's what I want.
So Dr. Aris, you haven't drank any H2O for a number of years. You've been drinking the water from the fruit.
I drink H3O.
H3O.
Water. And my number one source is
coconut.
The breast of the earth.
Yes.
This here.
Yes.
This is the breast of the earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The highest grown food on the planet, the highest grown food in creation.
Yes.
100% water when it's young.
Yes.
The young, green, fresh water coconut.
Yes.
More electrolytes than any other food on the planet. More electrical energy. This is electrical current.
Yes.
So when I bust this open and I drink my water. I'm drinking water from the breast of the earth.
Beautiful.
This water has been filtered, been iodized, been alkalinized, been distilled by the tree, the coconut palm tree.
Yes.
And who is the great engineer? The sun. Yeah, the sun, God, Ra.
Yes.
Sun, like I'm on the Caribbean coast right now. We have 38,000 coconut trees on this farm.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we have it like that. And
That's
you see
amazing.
the coconut tree. The coconut tree is a masculine energy. It's a male energy. It's a phallic.
Yes.
It's an obelisk.
Yes.
So you see this man up there? He has 300 breasts, 300 coconuts. Oh yeah, the man sporting 300, but you know, because of Mother Earth. He's anchored in the bosom of Mother Earth. Mother Earth have him. Because as that tree is above, so it is below. 100 feet into the air, 100 feet down into the earth, and in the bosom of Mother Earth. And the roots of that coconut tree is going into the sea and pumping water out thanks to the sunshine, drawing that water up, filtering it through the coconut tree, and bottling it for us in these perfectly bottled water. This is bottled water right now that I'm drinking out of. I'm drinking out of
package of water. Yes, yes, it is. It is. I want to ask you a question. You have been eating in this way for, over 5 decades. How do you think that has made you, with respect to your spiritual perspective, your spiritual life? The food and how, you speak about the electrical current required to get the water filtered. And then when you take in that charge into your body, how does that now convert to the relationship that you have with the divine?
Excuse me. Let me just finish.
Finish up your
my break fast.
Yes.
The mango juicy and sweet. Life in paradise.
Absolutely. I can see that. And you seem to be enjoying it like how we Caribbean people love our mangoes.
Okay. So, this is good face food, Let me put this on the face.
Yes, mango mask, a mask.
Yeah, face mask, mango mask, keep my skin tight. All my skin, all of that mango. Yeah, mango juice everywhere, even the beard. So I don't need no napkin or none of them something then. Me have my beard napkin right here. Woo! Life is great.
Yes.
So I love it. So how does this translate into where I am today? I've done a lot of studies over the years. At one point, I amassed a library of over 12,000 books. And that library is still in Jamaica. I try to move that library from Jamaica. It's still in Jamaica, 12,000 books. In that library, I had no books that was any story, no fiction, all facts, all life-valued information, food, maternity, delivering babies, yoga, Tai Chi, meditation, how to do massage, everything. I'm just like trying to learn all this stuff and don't want to go sit down in nobody's classroom. So we just buy me books.
Yes.
I want to find out why people like certain foods. We go to the Culinary Institute of America and buy the books they train their chefs with. I read these things. I say, oh, them don't like chicken. I see these people don't like chicken because if you take that pale bird and you just dunk it in water and boil it and give it to them and say, this is your food, no seasoning, no spice, no jerk, no peanut oil it fried in, none of them something them don't like chicken.
Yeah.
What the big chefs do, they disguise it, they smother it and do all kind of stuff. And you, oh, wow, this is not that pale bird.
Yes.
So this is how I learned how to do these things. Teach myself and move on at a certain level. But
Yes.
coming into it like this and seeing that the lighter I become in my eating, the cleaner my plate is, away from the dense food, especially well, of course, getting rid of the animals
Yes.
and all of their excrements and, organs and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Get that off my plate. No abortion. We don't want no egg.
No.
We don't want them something. We don't want no pus. We don't want none of them things them there. So, but now coming to this level and seeing as I transform and I lighten up and I'm only eating plant foods and then not eating any cooked food. So stuff that me have to cook, me don't yam them. Them is not food, especially the starches, rice,
Yes.
beans, corn, all them something. Then you look in the books and everybody gonna tell you, oh, human beings, they've been eating corn for 6,000 years. Potatoes, 7,000 years. Why am I going to try to eat potatoes and we've only been eating it for 7,000 years? And my ancestors have been on this planet for 1,000,000 years.
Yes.
And everybody know I try experiment to see if they can adapt to eating rice and beans and potatoes and starch and all of this stuff. Starch, beans, grains, and deep roots. The damn cassava. You see how the Arawaks did. You see how the Tahino did. They pound the heck out of the cassava and beat the starch out of it to make the body.
Yes.
Yeah, that glue. Because otherwise they make argo starch with it. Yeah. All them is glue. Them is gluten. So those are not food for human beings. But because you can boil it, you can boil the yam, and you can pump water in it because you have the power of fire. That don't make it food. It makes it edible.
Yes.
And you yam it, it's pure starch.
Yes.
You kill the enzyme that would help the body digest it. And now you're trying. So now you have to digest it. So all of these things now are keeping you on a heavy, dense, physical level.
Yes.
Processing things that the body was not designed to process. So you want to move to levels where you're going to have foods that you don't have to really work the body, the animal, so hard to make sugar out of Trelawney yam. Why am I going to eat Trelawney yam and try to run and chase down Usain Bolt and turn my body like a refinery, just like Bolt, and make sugar as I run? I got better things to do in life.
Yes.
Sugar out of it, especially if I have mangoes. I'm going to eat my mangoes and get my sugar direct. Simple carbohydrate. Starches are complex carbohydrate. They're complicated food.
Yes.
So all of this now are making you dense, making you body bound.
Yes.
Yes. So I want to fly like an eagle.
Yes.
And I see what the eagles eat. Them come and them yum off my fruits every morning. I see what the Dr. Bird want. I want to eat the flowers, the real spiritual foods, the flowers. Yes.
Spiritual foods will raise your spiritual vibration, right?
We need to come back home.
Yes.
So eating all live food, all sun-fired foods, and eating and getting the essence out of these foods and extracting, doing this efficient transfer of solar energy from the food to my body, getting all the oxygen, all the water that I need, and not making my body dense and calcified with hard, dry provisions. And all that. I mean, I went through it. I've lived through those things for over, 20 years. I know it. Yes. I know the difference. Yes. So studying the whole life of, say, a fruitarian being. Yes. Fruitarians are people who only eat foods that come with seeds.
Yes.
So, and there are two different levels of fruitarianism. You have fruits that are botanical. So everything with seed is a fruit botanically. Yes. But nutritionally, the ones that are high in sugar and moisture, these are the ones that are classified as fruit. But the fruits. Yes. But when you look at your scriptures and all of these places and you try to find a law of food, look somewhere in your Genesis and it said, behold, for I've given unto you the seed yielding foods, and unto you they shall be your meat. So as far as I'm concerned, if there's ever a law of food, my food should bring seeds with it. So you see, that's what we're featuring, seed foods. So the watermelon. Yes. Look at that watermelon, 100 seeds in it. You take those watermelon seeds, drop them on the ground, and next thing you're going to know, a watermelon vine is going to start running all up and down the place. And
Yes.
the watermelon vine is a water hose that taps in. It goes deep. You see that watermelon vine can run 100 feet?
Yes.
The root of it is running 100 feet down into the earth. And it taps into an underground spring and connects and pumps spring water out of the earth and bottle it in what we call watermelon. Melon flavored water. Every so many steps you take, you buck into another bottle of water, watermelon. So to look at these things and seeing how, you know, me as a human being, my body is 70% water. I want to eat water, breathe water. I want liquids. I don't want all this heavy rice and beans, all this dense food, because you still have to try to pump water in it. And if you don't put enough water in it and you yam it, it's going to dehydrate you. Then you're going to get inflammation, calcification, arthritis, diabetes, heart attacks. A whole host of these diseases are tied to your immune system, your gut.
Yes.
Food that has not been properly processed, and you've been able to use them and convert them into energy, into sugar. So I run on sugar.
You run on sugar.
I run on sugar. Mango sugar, pineapple sugar, orange sugar, sugar cane. I don't want no processed sugar. I don't want no cooked, cane sugar. That's trouble now.
Yes.
And I don't want no sugar that's made from
hydrochloric acid
and all of these things.
Yes.
So it's a whole. So living on this level, I've been able to really free myself from a lot of the physical baggage that have us grounded. So eating fruits, like right now, I'm about 80% fruits.
Yes.
Eating fruits like this and drinking all of this living water, I can fly.
Yes, I mean, I was watching you in another video and I saw your morning routine. You get up, you climb one hell of a long, tall coconut tree, pick your coconut, drink it, and then you take a run and you take a swim. And I'm like, but this man not easy.
Up to today, I just run my 3 miles this morning right on the beach, the black sand beach, barefoot, right at the edge of the water. Whoa. I have to live on the beach, and I must live in a place where coconuts grow. If coconuts can't grow in New York City, we can't grow there.
You can't live there. Nice.
You can't grow there, period.
Yes.
I have to live where coconuts grow because I want to keep growing like a coconut tree.
Yes. So let me ask a question now. It was not a big step for you to just acquire this land and make your home and put all the coconut trees and put all the fruit trees. It was like the next step for you.
It wasn't a big step because I partnered with a good friend of mine who already owned the land. Yes. So coming to the land and leasing a good 10 acres on the 70 acres permaculture fruit farm and setting up my institute here and having access to it all, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
But then I have my property that I own now on the beach. Beachfront. Yeah, I want to live in the seafront. And we're just a 10-minute walk from here, from the farm, right around the corner.
Excellent. And so you have the best of both worlds.
I got it all. And where I am now, this farm is in Maroon Land. It's in the Portobello World Heritage Park. This is a UN protected area, so no big developments is coming in here. But this is Maroon Land, Panama. The whole Caribbean coast, from the canal all the way to Colombia, is all Maroon Town. Wow. All Maroon Town. So we're in the bush. We're in the Congo land, the Congo community, the Africans that came with the Spains, that were kidnapped with the Spains and brought here as slaves. This is where they were brought. Portobello. This is one of the areas where the pirates and the conquerors had big fight over the loot that the conquerors stole from Peru, from the Incas and all these places, and bringing it through Panama, through the Pacific, trying to cross the Atlantic to take it to Spain, to the governor, to the king over there,
Yes.
Henry Morgan and Pirate Drakes and them ambush them here. Big fight. So we in the middle of all of this. So
Yes.
sometimes we team up with the pirates and help them to
Yes.
knock out the devil. That's what them
Yes.
call the white man here in the Congo land, the devil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So,
But they
so we're
should
a
not.
rich community. And this is
But
all Congo people, all black people, them all up in this side, and we still own a whole heap of this land. So it's not hard for me to come here and I'm at home. Well received, just like
beautiful.
Jamaica, just like St. Thomas with the Kumina
Yes.
people and going up
Yes.
into the cockpit and all that. It's the
Yes.
same thing. We're at home. This is
Yes.
our Africa, and
This
we're
is
not giving up.
that's a beautiful thing. You see, I don't even just look at you anymore as someone who has been a revolutionary for food, but you have been a revolutionary for the people, the melanated peoples of this world, the melanated peoples on the Western Hemisphere. You are preserving us with the food, with the knowledge, with your spirit, with all of the. Look how much involvement you've had in so many different countries in the Caribbean and Latin America. You've made your mark and you continue to make your mark. I'm so excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to meet you here. And I'm excited to know that you are going to be on the main stage of the ITAL Food Festival when it comes up in Jamaica in July. And I mean, I hear you talking and I hear the excitement when you're talking about making 400 fruit pies throughout the day. Tell us how you're going to run that, because me can't understand how one man I gonna make so much pie.
Look, let me tell you, it's such an honor to be a part of this festival.
Mhm.
It kind of really brings me back to a certain point where the biggest highlight, one of the biggest highlight I've had in doing this type of culture, what I've been doing, is
Mhm.
in 1990, we had an African Healers Summit in Martha's Vineyard in the U.S. And we had
Yes.
over 100 African healers showed up from
Yes.
Jamaica, from Ghana, Dr. Ando, we all showed up. And we
Yes.
came to Martha's Vineyard as African healers. And we
Yes.
had 200 participants come to
Yes.
study stuff. And this ITAL Fest to me is an African Healers Summit.
It is. It is.
Healers are going to be in the house.
Yes. Yes.
And we
Yes.
have about 20,000 participants coming.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
on to something big.
It is. It is. And I
One of
think
the
it's
things
very
that
timely.
I've been observing over these years and observing us, observing my journey, because my journey did not begin in Panama. My
Yes.
journey began in the Congo, you know,
Mhm.
generations ago. We've been
Yes.
journeying all up the Rift Valley, all up into Ethiopia, all up into Kemet, all across into the Dogon, to Mali Empire, all
Mhm.
up into Spain. We ruled Spain as the Moors. We ruled
Yes.
Europe for a long time. We developed them. We even
Yes.
brought them over here. We came before Columbus and we
Yes.
showed them the way over here. But we
Yes.
are on the verge of entering a brand new civilization as humanity.
That's it. That's it. I
I
agree.
remember
And I.
growing up in the 60s, we constantly heard the buzz. We are on the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Aquarius.
We are
Yes.
in it. And this
Yes.
age, you better come clean and clear. You
Yes.
better mind your gut. It's
Yes.
about health. And
Yes.
we have been one of the most loyal people on this planet about protecting and strengthening our health. Don't buy into this thing about, oh, we sick and oh, we eat this and we eat that. We are on the forefront of healing, healthy eating. We take this like a religion today. And it's so good
Yes.
to be a part of it. And this is what's coming to Jamaica ITAL Fest is going to
Yes.
be a serious, I would say, landing.
I think it is.
Our
It's going to be a
family,
game changer. Game changer
a life
for.
changer.
Yes.
We're coming home. No
Yes.
better place than Jamaica. We're coming
Absolutely.
home and we
Absolutely.
are going to definitely harness the family and take them through the rest of the journey. So I'm
Yes.
going to be on the lab stage. Look, I'm going to
Yes.
make 3 recipes on that stage.
I am
Okay.
waiting. I am
I, I
waiting.
am going to do I am going to do the fillet of soul sop, a
Filet.
fillet made of sour sop.
Wow.
And don't
Filet
tell
of
me that this
soursop.
thing is not straight out of the ocean. And it's gonna have the look, everything. See, I'm an innovator. I am a
Yes.
creator. So we
Yes.
can rock. I'm gonna be a DJ on the food lab stage, and I'm gonna
Yes.
rock a fillet of sole.
Hmm.
We're going to do the aki seafood as well. We're not dealing with no aki and saltfish and them something there. We're gonna do the aki seafood, and
Yes.
then we have a next surprise thing. But I'm gonna be in the house of life all day.
Nice.
Me and my team. It's gonna
Yes.
be about 1,200 of us. We come
Yes.
in with 600 pie crust ready to slam. We're
Yes.
gonna be baking 600 pies all day in
Wow.
the house of life. And
Yes.
trust me, every
Yes.
single pie is going to be different. They're gonna be
Wow.
unique, edible masterpiece. You're gonna
Beautiful.
see. This is gonna
Beautiful.
be edible food,
Beautiful.
edible art. Some people look at them and say, "Oh no,
Can't eat
pretty,
it.
that's too
Too
nice to
pretty.
eat." But that's what we want. We want look good food. We want to eat food that look good. You don't want no sloppy Joe. You don't want no brown and white, rundown and stew and all them something. Them.
Yes.
You want brilliance. You
Vibrant
want
colors.
art
Yes.
because you
Yes.
are what you eat. You're gonna look like that plate one day.
Yes. Vibrant, full of
You know
color,
what we're
full of
talking about?
life.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're
Yes.
gonna we're gonna definitely light up the house of life. So we want you to come home for your slice.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I am so happy, first of all, to meet you, to speak with you, to hear the energy, the vitality coming out of you, the rich history, the rich experiences that you've had, and how all of that is going to come to a head when we meet you on the stage and you're producing all of what you have experienced, all of what you have created. This is the mind, the melanated mind that has created this innovation called SUNFIRED Foods. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I just want to, on behalf of the whole world, thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Aris, for bringing this in this form into this world, for birthing this, because it's so powerful. A lot of people are still resistant, but let me tell you something. I feel as if there is a resurgence. This age of Aquarius is
Mm,
signaling the resurgence of melanated people taking back their sovereignty, taking back their power, understanding the connection between themselves and the food
mm.
from Mother Earth, straight from Mother Earth. And we thank you for your commitment to teaching, to creating, and also to collaborating with the different people to, making festivals like the ITAL Food Festival possible. So thank you for just
It's an
keeping it
honor.
real. Yeah.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure. And
Yes.
look, I'm getting ready for the ITEL Fest.
Yes.
I'm in a little purification mode right now. So you think me? I just drink white juice.
Yes.
This is the rambutan. You know the rambutan, those guineps. Them look
Yes.
like teeth, but the red fuzzy skin on them, just with coconut water.
Really. You
This
have
here is
those trees? You have those trees growing on your property?
sports. Yes, coconut milk. And we make
Yes.
our coconut milk with the fresh coconut cream. We
Hmm.
make the coconut cream right here and blend it with coconut water. And
Yes.
this is the queen of them all.
What is that?
This is the soursop juice.
Aha.
Soursop with coconut water. We
What?
also have the mangosteen juice, that purple skinned fruit with the white pulp in it, the mangosteen.
I
Oh,
don't
we
know
talk,
mangosteen. I don't know mangosteen. It's
please
not
look
it's
it
not
up.
common in Jamaica.
Please
When
look it up. It's the total queen of fruits. But to
okay.
drink these kind of juices and go into this purification,
Yes.
I'm getting ready, yards. May I
Getting
come back
ready.
a yard and may I come bright,
Yes. I
bright,
know.
bright.
We are waiting for you. Waiting for you. The people of Jamaica are waiting. They are ready. I am so happy that you are coming not just with the expertise, but with the knowledge and with the willingness to share. Because so many people of your caliber, gurus, experts, are unwilling to share. And you have always shared so openly, so generously, You're not afraid to tell people how it's done, tell people what to eat. And I laud and applaud you, Dr. Aris. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my dear sister.
And I look forward to seeing you as you land. I'll be there to pick you up.
Oh, wow. Make sure you have the black carpet ready.
Yes, man. And the whole heap of coconut water lining both sides of the carpet.
Oh,
Ready
my
for you.
goodness. Much love,
All
my
right.
sister.
Thank you, Dr. Aris. And I look forward to seeing you July 15th.
I'll be there.
Jamaica, be ready. And if you're not in Jamaica yet, make your way.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We're coming home. So
Thank you. Thank you,
meet
Dr.
me in
Aris.
Jamaica, family.
Yes,
All right.
yes.